Good afternoon, Senator Cotton. What do you make of what we saw last week in Alaska and what's going on today at the White House?
Good afternoon, Hugh. It's good to be back on with you. I'm obviously not at the White House, not privy to everything that's happening, but from the excerpts I've seen, it seems to be going well. That President Trump and President Zelensky have a good rapport, and President Zelensky is clearly committed to a constructive visit that tries to move towards a negotiation that will result in some kind of peace settlement in Ukraine that will help protect his country's autonomy and territorial integrity and allow them to build for the future and get back on their feet, so to speak. It looks like several European leaders, too, are playing a constructive role. Everybody there acknowledges that this happened because of Vladimir Putin, who has a almost unquenchable appetite to reincorporate Ukraine into a greater Russian empire and launch this unprovoked war of aggression over 3 years ago, in part because Democratic presidents like Barack Obama and Joe Biden had tempted him to pursue what he had always wanted to do. Even Vladimir Putin said last week that this war wouldn't have happened if President Trump had been in office, as it didn't happen in his first term in office. So I think right now we're still in the phase where everyone, President Trump, Zelensky, the European leaders, are testing whether Vladimir Putin is serious about any kind of peace negotiation. And if he's not, then we're going to have to collectively continue to show the strength that Ukraine and the United States have shown for the last 3.5 years.
Senator, I have a column coming out in Fox News tomorrow that every opinion about this is really ill-informed because unless you were in both rooms, the room in Alaska and the White House today, you can't really know what's going on in the state of President Trump's team and President Trump. I am curious, though, since the term security guarantees isn't much on the minds and lips of many newsreaders, what does that mean to you, security guarantees?
Well, I think traditionally and customarily, Hugh, it would mean something like the Article 5 collective guarantee of the NATO treaty that all NATO members make to each other, that an attack on one will be viewed as an attack on all, and they'll all come to the victim of aggression's defense. If you're sitting in Ukraine, I'm not sure how comfortable that would make one, though. Remember, Bill Clinton gave security guarantees to Ukraine along with Boris Yeltsin, Vladimir Putin's predecessor, and other Western leaders. And when Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014, where was Barack Obama? He was nowhere to be found, sending nothing but meals ready to eat and blankets. It was only President Trump that started sending real weapons to Ukraine in his first term that allowed them to beat back Russia's attack on Kyiv in the early days of this war. So if you're sitting in Ukraine and you've already suffered from Democratic presidents making and then ignoring security guarantees, you probably think that the main guarantees that you care about are tanks and artillery cannons and drones and men under arms. That's the way to guarantee your security for real.
Senator, can you imagine American troops being stationed in Ukraine? Because I cannot.
I don't think that we need to station troops there. And I think President Trump, although not necessarily ruling it out, has indicated that he doesn't want to have American troops there. European nations have said they're willing to put troops there, and some have already been more aggressive in allowing their military and intelligence personnel to be there for the sake of training. The United States, of course, is providing a lot of weapons, both directly and through our NATO partners. We've also provided a lot of intelligence and logistics support as well. So I think the United States can continue to support Ukraine in that way if this war goes on without having to put any American troops in harm's way inside of Ukraine.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.